Here, their heart, believed to be the seat of intellect and memory, was placed on a scale and weighed against the feather of Mat, the goddess of truth and justice. If the heart was heavy with sin, it would be devoured by the terrifying beast Tiamat, a creature with the head of a crocodile, the body of a lion, and the hindquarters of a hippopotamus. This meant a second, final death. But if the heart was as light as the feather, the deceased was declared true of voice and was granted passage to the paradise known as the Field of Reeds. The Field of Reeds, or Aru, was the Egyptian version of heaven. But it wasn't a place of eternal rest. It was a perfect reflection of the life they knew along the Nile, lush, fertile land where they would farm, feast, and enjoy all the pleasures of life, but without sickness, pain, or suffering. The tomb paintings often depict the deceased enjoying these activities. To ensure they wouldn't have to perform manual labor in this paradise, the Egyptians were buried with hundreds of small figurines called shabdas. Each shabdi was inscribed with a spell, ready to answer the call, "Here I am," and perform any work required on behalf of the deceased. It was the ultimate delegation, ensuring a blissful eternity of leisure. The tomb was essentially a starter pack for this perfect afterlife, filled with everything they could possibly need. And what a starter pack it was! The grave goods found in these tombs give us an incredible glimpse into what the Egyptians valued. Of course, there were the famous golden treasures like those found in Tutankhamun's tomb jewelry, golden chariots, and ornate furniture. These were meant to provide comfort and status in the next world. But they also included everyday items. They buried containers of food and drink, like bread, beer, and wine, to sustain the ka. They included cosmetic palettes, razors, and linens. They even buried board games like Senet, which wasn't just for entertainment. The game itself was seen as a metaphor for the journey through the duat. Each item, from the most mundane to the most magnificent, served a purpose. It was a physical manifestation of their hope, ensuring that death was not an end, but merely a transition to a life that was even better than the one they had left behind. Then came the step pyramids, like Djosers, literally a staircase to the heavens. The complexity of these structures, with their false doors, hidden passages, and deep burial shafts, all speak to the immense importance placed on protecting the body, the vessel for eternal life. Looking at these tombs, we see more than just a fascination with death. We see a powerful affirmation of life. The Egyptians loved their life in the Nile Valley so much that they couldn't imagine a better paradise. Their afterlife wasn't some abstract, ethereal plane. It was a continuation of the best parts of their earthly existence. They filled their tombs with scenes of happy families, abundant harvests, and joyful celebrations. It shows a deep optimism, a fundamental belief that life is good and worth preserving forever. They didn't just passively hope for an afterlife, they actively built it. They spent fortunes, lifetimes of labor, and incredible artistic talent to manifest their vision of eternity. This entire system was a contract between the living and the dead. The living performed the rituals, maintained the tombs, and provided offerings, ensuring their deceased relatives had a smooth journey. In return, the deceased, now powerful ancestral spirits, could intercede on behalf of the living. It was a reciprocal relationship that bound families and society together across generations. The tomb was a focal point for this connection, a physical bridge between the two worlds. So, what do these ancient tombs ultimately reveal? They show us a civilization that confronted the universal fear of death with incredible creativity, ingenuity, and hope. By meticulously preparing for this journey, they sought to rob death of its power, to transform it from a terrifying unknown into a planned and glorious adventure. Their tombs are not monuments to death, but enduring testaments to their unshakable belief in the persistence of life. As we study these incredible structures, we're not just learning about an ancient religion, we're witnessing one of humanity's most ambitious attempts to write its own happy ending, to ensure that the story doesn't end when the body fails, but continues on, forever, in the golden light of the field of reeds. Let me know in the comments what ancient mystery you'd like us to explore next. See you in the next video.